be enough to guarantee your death within 2 days.
Oh my
but
God.
despite this, we have several photographs that exist of people right next to it.
Look around you.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Program 007 here, and today I shall be reacting to Why This Room is the Most Dangerous Place in the World by RealLifeLore. If you haven't seen it for yourself, the original link is in the description below. Without further ado, let's get on with the show.
This video was made possible by Mozilla. Learn which products respect your privacy with their Privacy Not Included Buyer's Guide using the link in the description. Everybody and everything that has ever existed eventually dies. Death is ultimately just part of living on our planet, so it should come as no surprise to you that Earth is a dangerous place. But where on Earth is the most dangerous place? Assuming that you could take all available precautions like clothing, gear, weapons, a handy Toyota, or whatever else you can think of, and disregarding any laws relating to access, where would be the most dangerous place that you could go to that you're allowed to be prepared for?
Why would you take a Toyota? Why would you take something big like a Land Rover or a Jeep or something?
The quick answer is a basement located here in Ukraine, but the longer answer is ridiculously interesting and totally worth your time to listen through a little backstory. The basement is located in a familiar town to many of you called Pripyat, and is nearby an even more familiar nuclear power plant called Chernobyl. Over 30 years ago, in 1986, the Chernobyl power plant experienced a catastrophic disaster never before seen in the world. During a routine overnight test, reactor number 4 in the plant experienced a power surge. The nuclear core's temperature inside of this reactor grew rapidly, and in the following attempt to control this temperature, an even greater power surge was caused instead. Due to numerous design flaws inside of the reactor, 2 explosions followed from a buildup of steam caused by the core's increasing temperature. The temperature got so hot that the nuclear fuel inside of the core began to melt, and this molten fuel began to seep down to the bottom of the reactor vessel. This nuclear lava melted through this vessel and into the concrete and pipes below, where it eventually reached the reactor's basement. The now molten mixture of nuclear fuel, control rods, sand, glass, and concrete slowly cooled into an object that would later be called the Elephant's Foot. Back above the ground, the Soviet Union engaged in the largest civil engineering project in world history to contain the radiation spewing out into the atmosphere from the reactor.
Yeah, there's a Top Gear episode where Jeremy, James and Richard drive small hatchbacks they literally drive right alongside the power plant, and Jeremy mentions that they're building some sort of arch to contain the radiation.
1 million workers were brought in to construct what became known as the sarcophagus, a gigantic concrete and steel fortress built around the destroyed reactor. Inside to this day are sealed 200 tons of radioactive corium, 30 tons of highly contaminated dust, and 16 tons of uranium and plutonium. Being on the roof of this sarcophagus is enough to expose you to a full year's worth of radiation in just 12 minutes, and the inside is so lethally radioactive that it could kill you within minutes. The sarcophagus today is surrounded by an even larger structure meant to further contain all of this radiation inside. But back in 1986,
What must it be like to work there? Work on building the arch in those conditions? It's just terrifying.
This was far from the case. Scientists were sent into the ruins to search for nuclear fuel that could cause another explosion, and after 6 months of searching, a team encountered an unbelievably radioactive mass in the basement around the corner from where they were standing. Using a remote-controlled camera, the team took the very first photographs of the elephant's foot located inside. It's only 2 meters across, but it weighs as much as 100 tons, and it was so dangerous at the time that it would expose you to 10,000 Roentgens per hour, which means that in just 30 seconds it would be enough to induce extreme dizziness and fatigue in you that would last up to 2 weeks.
Oh my
After 2
god.
minutes of being near it, it would be enough to cause your cells to hemorrhage. And after 4 minutes of being near it, it would cause vomiting, diarrhea, and a fever. If you were near it for just 300 seconds, it would be enough to guarantee your death within 2 days.
Oh my
But
god.
despite this, we have several photographs that exist of people right next to it. The grainy and almost ghostly effect that you're seeing in this photograph is because of the radiation produced by the elephant's foot interfering with the film of the camera. Nobody knows what happened to this worker or the photographer taking this picture, but based on the time limits that I listed earlier, it probably isn't very good. They may not have known just how dangerous the object was then, but over the 30-plus years since then, the elephant's foot has grown weaker. A study in 1996, 10 years after the disaster, suggested that 5 minutes in the presence of the elephant's foot now would be enough to give you radiation sickness, and an hour next to it would be enough to kill you, which is far better than the 300 seconds that it used to take. However, the elephant's foot is still extremely hot and is still melting through the concrete floor of the basement. Should it melt all the way through and come into contact with groundwater, the results could be catastrophic. Another explosion might be possible, and the drinking water of nearby residents would certainly be contaminated. The elephant's foot will continue existing for centuries down in a dark basement, locked away inside of a giant sarcophagus, where the radiation will continue existing for the next 100,000 years.
Exactly.
So if you're looking for the most dangerous place to be on Earth, the inside of this building should definitely be near the top of your list. And if you're looking for some privacy, here's Mozilla's Privacy Not Included Buyer's Guide. The holidays are right around the corner, and a great gift is one that won't spy on you. But the good news is that Mozilla has created a completely...
Whatever. Yeah, that's the thing about radioactive substances. It can last for thousands of years. Because Chernobyl might not be habitable again until long after I'm dead. Long after I'm dead. I mean, in 2098, I will be 100. Well, if I'm still alive by then, because I was born in 1998. It's just mind-blowing to think that that happened in the mid-80s, and yet today, it's still a lethal place. I always like it when I do these types of interesting videos. Might do more of these more often, and obviously keep doing Happy Tree Friends on Wednesdays just to keep you all happy. Anyway, that was very interesting, guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Look around you.